catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
Well, hello. Good evening, and welcome to Storytime. We are so excited, and I want to say Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Listen, my grandbaby, she came in here and gave me a shirt today. I had to wear the shirt, so I went her and I got it. She said, favorite people in the world is grandma. Look at that, grandma. I had to wear my shirt today for my grandbaby because she came in here and gave this to me today. I thought that was so special. And if you are a grandparent, you know how special that was, right? Okay, so listen, happy Mother's Day to every mother, grandmother, foster parent, aunties, everybody who played a role, right? We have some special people in the world today called mothers, and many of them are dear to us. Now, there are some people who have mothers that are watching over us, like me, myself. My mom is watching over me. I haven't had my mom present in my life since 1995. So I want to say that if you have your mother present, be grateful. Make sure you acknowledge her. Make sure you love her. Make sure you spend time with her, because there are those of us who cannot do that anymore, that wish that we still had our physical, natural parents around, right? I don't have either one of my parents. So I want to say mothers are truly special. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. And today's guest is really extra special because not only is he a business mogul, a businessman, an entrepreneur, a successful person, but he also is a person who understands what I just said. He cherishes the women in his life, his mother, his wife. And I thought that this was really special to do him today, because I've seen many times how he has acknowledged his mother and he doesn't take her for granted at all. And I thought this was the perfect person for the Mother's Day show. So get ready for story time, y'all. We have a good one. We have Mr. James Montague. All right. So right now we want to make sure that you tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend that you are watching story time here. And we want to make sure that you just do a couple of things. What is story time? Story time is the place where we connect with human beings, right? And we talk about life experiences. Okay, we come on here 8 p.m. Wednesdays and Sundays, and this is when we have this good old time here, right? And so while you're here, we want to ask you to do a couple of things. We want to ask you to make sure that you take a few minutes to tell somebody that you're here. So tell somebody that you're here, and we want you to invite them to come on over. So once you pop up here, we want you to share this with 5 friends, all right? Make sure you share this with 5 friends and tell them that you are about to hear an amazing story about Mr. James Montague. And we want you to go ahead and share to 5 people, at least 5 people, once you come over here, all right? And another thing that we want to ask you to do, it doesn't cost you anything, guys. When you're online, it's really free to show support. It's really free to engage when you are logging on and seeing people on their podcast, on their live, doing whatever you do. It doesn't cost you anything. All you need to do is simply like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's that simple. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you come through here and you happen to come through here while we're here with Mr. Montague, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure he knows you're here, and we're going to make sure that he sees the love, and we'll make sure that we tell him that you're watching. So let's get ready to bring our guest in. We are so excited to have Mr. Montague in the building today. James is somebody that I've met in Raleigh because I'm not a native, but he is. And he's been here all his life. So it's good to be able to see somebody who's been from around the block and hadn't changed much. And I think I see him knocking at the door. My goodness, James, are you there?
I am here. I am here. Thank you so much, Crystal.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And so I want to say, welcome to Story Time. And I know today was a special day. I know you looked out for your mom and your wife today. I'm sure you did because you're just that type of person.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate them both. Love and appreciate both of them.
So many people may not know who you are. They may not really understand. I know that you're the president of F7 International Development. I know you're a community developer. You celebrated openings of many, many, many businesses. Many people may know you for the Elders Peak that you did, that Living Community Center. But we're gonna talk about it all. We're gonna talk about how you got your start and how you started out with that statue side business plaza. A lot of people may not know that was you over there at the Martin Luther King statue. I think that
Mhm.
was 1997. And
Yes.
we'll go into the Cultural Commerce Center that you did in 2002. And then we'll bring it on up to the Montague Plaza, which just took place last year. I remember seeing that all over the news in
Mhm.
2024. You've done some great things, and we'll even talk about some of the international stuff. But before we do, what I like to do is I always like to ask my guests to go back and tell us about who they were as a little boy. Tell me about who was little Monty. Who James Monty, the little boy?
Yeah. Little Monty needed something to do. Little Monty, got in trouble. Hard headed, project kid. Not having the right guidance. Didn't really have my father in my life, so kind of like just did kind of stuff. Never got into bad trouble, but just hard headed. So I wanted the best kid, to be honest. But I did have a good heart. So uh, grew up in Southgate. Grew up in the projects of Southgate. Uh, you know, kid just like anybody else. But I started cutting hair in my mom's kitchen when I was like 13 years old, and for 50 cents a head, and just kind of grew my enterprise from there. Started learning how to serve people and do different things that could add value and find my niche in life. And that's kind of how I started.
50 cents. I know we're going to talk about the book. I definitely have the book, and we're going to show that, and we're definitely going to get that in here. 50 cents
Mhm.
to an empire. And when you started that, how old were you?
I was like 13 years old.
So, was this a dream? I mean, would you sit around in elementary school and you wanted to be a barber? Was that something that you wanted to do?
Nah. I mean that. Nah, I wish it was that glorious, but all that happened was haircuts went up. They were used to be $3. At the time, and when they went up to $5, my mom was like, "Not going to the barber shop anymore. We're gonna go to Kmart. We're gonna buy you some clippers, and you're gonna cut your own hair at home." And that started. Now it wasn't no grand vision, nothing like that. It's just necessity. I wasn't able to pay the $5 to get my hair cut like that. So mama said, "We're gonna buy you some clippers for $9.99, and you're gonna cut your own hair."
And that's keeping it real. That's keeping it real, y'all. See, y'all might not know. That's really how it started. Did you hear what he said? I don't know if you caught it. I need to say that again. He said it really happened because they couldn't pay the $5. So he came through with a dream and he just pushed it into reality. Now tell me about how much mom really was instrumental in helping that come to pass. Because you talk about how she influences you so much. So did she push you out there? How did that go?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, she helped buy the clippers, the first clippers from Kmart, Blue Light Special for $9.99. But then she allowed me to, cut hair all the project kids. Once I started cutting my own hair, I wasn't the only one that couldn't afford the $5. So a lot of people in the neighborhood started coming to me, and they couldn't pay $5, but they could pay 50 cents. So I charged them what they could afford to pay. Start actually getting pretty good at cutting hair. And then I started cutting the other kids in not only our neighborhood, but other neighborhoods started coming through and just start, having a lot of people in my mama's house. So she was really understanding. And, at any given moment, you can come home and have like 15 to 20 kids all up in the house waiting to get a haircut. So I appreciate her patience and understanding and really, let me do my thing until it got to be too much. I mean, when it got to be like 20, 30 kids in the house and people all over the house, then she was like, you got to do something. So she told me I need to go to barber school. And that's what I did when I got out of high school.
Wow. So you went to barber school. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So with that being the case, was that the barber school right there in Raleigh over there by across the street from Shore?
Yeah, I went to Harris Barber College in the 80s. Yeah, that was the one. Tobias McLean and Mr. Stone were my instructors. And Tobias is actually still running the school right now. Uh-oh. You're on mute, Crystal.
Move back a little bit, Monty. You know, the funny thing is when I deal with my older people, they always do that. They sit up. I'll be like, you can move up. I want you to relax. I want you to just relax a little bit. Right. So went to the barber school. Do you remember that first official cut that you did when you became official, when you became licensed? You remember that feeling? How was that feeling?
I mean, it was a good feeling, but by then I had already been cutting for like 4 years by the time I went to barber school. So I mean, it was nothing new by then.
Okay, so take us from there. So you cut hair for a little while, and then the first barbershop. Take us to how you made the decision and what that process was like when you decided, you know what, I can't cut in mama's house anymore. I need to go ahead and open up a shop. And how did you do that? Did you go by yourself or did you have help?
Well, first, what I did was I went to actually work at the person I told you, Tobias. I actually worked in his shop on New Bern Avenue, right across from the Blue Whale Car Wash. That was the first shop I was actually in, working in his shop as soon as I got out of barber school. And I worked there for maybe a couple of years. And then I went and I opened my first shop on Garner Road. That was my first official shop. And it was a small shop. And, I stayed there for like, 4 years. So built up my clientele and kind of got well known for not only barbering, but I at that time went to Cheryl's cosmetology school as soon as I got out of barber school and started doing ladies hair. And I got really good at doing ladies hair as well.
Shout out to Cheryl. Shout out to Cheryl. We know the owner over there definitely, and she's doing amazing things here. So when you had your own business now, because now you have a business establishment, did you have to change your mindset a little bit when you went from going there? And was the people looking for a hookup? Talk about that for a minute. A lot of times when business owners open up a business, the people want to come around and they don't want to pay what you're worth. Did you go through that challenge when you went to the barbershop?
Absolutely. Barbering and cosmetology. You can always have some people that appreciate the quality and don't try to kind of like nickel and dime you. But some people are coming in, they only want a deal, and it's like you can't make a living and pay your bills when people just want to come in and get free stuff and a deal all the time. So I kind of like wean those off and start focusing on the people that really appreciated my skill and my service and talent. So but you're gonna always have those type of people.
Yes. Have you ever had any celebrities? Sometimes you have what we call celebrity barbers. Have you ever gone through that, or you just did the Raleigh folks come through there?
Nah, all my people, everybody, I treated everybody like they're celebrities. I didn't have really celebrities that came to me, but I appreciated my people like they were celebrities. You know what I'm saying? My everyday folks, I appreciated them.
That's good. That's good. Mm-hmm. So you cut hair for a while, and then a vision came to you somehow because you're right there. And take us to the plaza. How did that first plaza come about in 1997?
So, I went through actually 1997. I actually went through some health issues because I wasn't balanced in my life. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't exercising. Had never drank any water at all. Only drank sodas and stuff like that. So I ended up having a health issue. I actually had a stroke at 26. And I actually could not go back to really doing hair full time like I had always done. And that was my only talent and skill at that time. I didn't go to college or anything like that. I hadn't worked a real full-time job, clocking in like that. So I actually, had a vision and a dream. In 1996, God gave me a vision to buy a particular piece of land at Rock Quarry Road and do my first building. And I had no experience. Didn't know what I was doing. Google didn't exist. You couldn't watch a YouTube special about how to make it happen. So I was totally dependent on God and him giving me the vision and understanding on what I was supposed to be doing and how I was supposed to do it. So that's when I first started really like leaning on God and understanding that, you know, without God's help, there's nothing that you could really do. Not me, myself. Other people can maybe do it, but not me.
And so you said God gave you a vision. Thank goodness you overcame the health issue. Now there's a story behind that. There's a story behind you overcoming the health issue, because you talked about your mom, how instrumental she was when I went to the book signing. And we're gonna talk about this. But
Yes.
you talked about how she helped you because she pushed you to open the barbershop, but she also helped you when it came to the health scale. What happened? Something happened when you were sick at the barbershop and your mom came through and she paid attention. What happened then?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually, when I had my little mini stroke thing there, I was actually at work, and you know, I got so honest, got a little greedy, and did not want to take off work even when I was having a mini stroke. So mom, she came and got me from work, made me go to the hospital, and basically saved my life at the time. Because if I would have stayed there, I probably would have just fell out at work, and that would have been just it, and it wouldn't have been a story right now. So you know, sometimes when you're young, you don't make the best decisions, and sometimes you got to have people that guide you and make you do what you don't really want to do. I really didn't want to leave work that day and go to the hospital, but that was the best thing that could have happened to me.
Wow, 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 wow. That's amazing. So, you know what? You talk about your mom a lot. Can we talk about that for a minute? There may be somebody who may watch this and perhaps they don't appreciate their parent. They don't really understand. I heard you say that your father wasn't really that heavy in your life, but I hear you talk about mom so much. If there's somebody who's watching this and they come back and watch this and they don't really value their mother, is there a message you have for them?
Yeah, I mean, you better value your mother. You only got one, and you ain't not getting another one. So so you need to appreciate them while they're here, and just you know, just show them what they mean to you. Give what they say, give them their roses while they're still living, give them their flowers while they're still living. That's what we need to be focused on. You know,
Wow.
yeah, those
So you
people.
went
If it
so you
wasn't for them, they
went
wouldn't be here.
So you went from being a barber, and I'm going to show in a minute. You went from being a barber to actually being the man, that created hood minted, right? You had a hood minted mentality. It said you wrote a book called How Hustle, Faith, and 50 Cent Built an Empire. So you started out with 50 Cent
Right.
cutting hair, then you were fueled by your faith because you had some adversities, you had some things happening, and you and mom stood by your side, but then you met a woman. Talk to me about that woman, because I know you have a woman in your life that's very instrumental, and she also stands by you with a lot that you do. Talk to us about who is this woman that you call your wife, how you met her, how long she's been in your life, and how much you value her.
Yeah, that lady right there. Yeah, that's my wife there. We've been married now, shoot, 2001, 20, almost 25 years, I guess. But I actually met her. I was like 10 years old when I met her in the projects. We were actually next door neighbors. So she grew up in Southgate with me, like two houses down. And I mean, got together in our, 20s, early 20s, and just kind of like started building a family and just putting things together, and just been walking in faith together for since then.
So she's definitely a part of your success, no
A-
question.
Absolutely. Yes, big
No
part
question.
of it.
And so you have the two powerful women that stand by you. You got one on the left and one on the right. You have her and you have mom. This combination, you seems like you can't lose at all. And
Absolutely.
talk to us about how important that structure is, having your wife there and mom there as well.
Oh, that's extremely important. I mean, look at this. We were actually, this picture right here was taken in Africa. We were there, I think, in 2019. And I think we were in Rwanda at the time, which is a beautiful country. We had actually went on like a three country tour. We went to Tanzania, Rwanda, we went to Kenya, and we just had a ball. And it really felt like home actually. And we really just enjoyed each other, and we appreciate each other, and we're able to spend time just in a different environment. So, I mean, having that support system and structure is extremely important.
And so, Monty, you have children too. Talk to us about the children. Well, not even that. You also you have a lot of siblings. But so talk to us about that because how many siblings you have?
You got three sisters.
Three sisters,
Yeah,
and you have some twins there too, don't you?
correct. One is into finance, and the other one's into real estate. Uh,
Okay.
and actually, Dion actually helped me write the book. She was the editor for the book for Hood Minted. She did the editing, proofreading, and just kind of helped me pull it together. So yeah, she was very special in the process. And then Fionn is her twin. She's in the real estate, is an investor and property manager and all that kind of good stuff. And then I have one more sister, Lavon. So she's the oldest sister, a little younger than me, but she's the oldest sister.
So if anybody else needs help with their book, can they call Dion?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would very strongly recommend Dion for that.
Okay. Yeah, so she will help you get the process started and finish the process all the way to a book launch. All
Hmm.
the way to a book launch. So that's a beautiful thing. So that's good. That's good. Well, that's great.
And
O-
she helped me with Amazon, actually getting it on Amazon as well as it'll be in Barnes and Nobles in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. So let's
Yeah.
talk about this book now. So it's called Hood Minted: How Hustle, Faith, and 50 Cents Built an Empire.
Hmm.
And you mentioned it earlier. You said you went from 50 cents and a pack of Kool-Aid. I love it. A pack of Kool-Aid to a multi-million-dollar developments. And I know we're going to show because you have a website, and we'll show your website and let them see exactly what we have here. And we'll put this up. And let me do that right now. Let's get this up here so they can see what we got and show all of that so they can see how it looks with the development. And let's talk about that for a minute. Was it scary? Was it scary going to multi-million dollar developments and doing all that? How was that process?
So I mean, it's I guess it's a little scary, but I mean you get used to it because in the business that we're in, I'm creating buildings from the ground up. I mean, whether it's residential, shopping centers, retirement home, mixed use development, whatever it is, single family homes, I'm building from the ground up. So I'm actually uh, going into the unseen and creating what's seen from the unseen. So it's always a little bit scary, it's a little challenging. However, you can't keep that fear because fear and faith can't exist at the same time. You're gonna have to drop one or drop the other. So
Wow.
in our business, F7 actually stands for faith in action. F7 means faith in action because in the word it says faith without works is dead.
Mm,
So I can't proclaim to have faith and be afraid of all these challenges at the same time.
okay. So the book is more like motivation for people, right? It's a blueprint for anybody who wants to break that cycle. That's what I see you having here. Walk in faith and build something that lasts.
Right.
Okay, so that's great. So now I see here you have a section that says who we serve. And
Hmm.
so you serve the community. You always
Absolutely.
have community. Your focus will always be people first, and you're
Hmm.
committed to fairness and integrity in all you do. So what made you do that? Because a lot of time, Monty, people forget. They forget and they don't serve the people. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're all about their business. So I thank you for being about the people. Is that because of where you came from?
Well, it's because of what I came from, and also it keeps me humble, understanding that I actually work for the people. The people, a lot of people use people to get the money, and what I do is I use the money to serve the people, and
Mm,
that's when it's sustainable, and that's when you add value to your community. So my mission is to actually not only serve the community, but serve them with excellence, and to show the young people in the community what's possible when you just have faith and hope and determination and you keep your mind channeled on positive things. I'm actually a novice gardener, so one of the things I always have to do is great to plant, but most of the time I spend plucking weeds because weeds will grow in a garden and take over everything. So what I've got to do is, even in life, I got to plug the negative weeds out of my thought process because what they do is they sprout and they start to ruin the fruit. And I know I'm talking symbolically, but that's how life is. You have to actually go in and understand that you can't have all kinds of thoughts just in your head, just running wild. because what they'll do is they'll destroy your good works. So what I do is I spend a bunch of time pulling weeds and kind of monitoring my thought process, and also making sure that I'm just not around anybody. Some people are so negative, they get to talking and speaking that craziness into your life. And, I can't take that because I'm very impressionable with the way I think. And that's why I don't, focus a lot on negative, and I don't have negative speech. I'm very cautious about my words because I believe words are creative power. And either you can speak life or you can speak defeat. And I refuse to take my energy and to, invest my energy into speaking defeat.
Yes, and the word says you have what you say. It
You
says you have
have
what
what
you say.
you
You
say.
have to be real careful. So you started out your book with a chapter called Millionaire Pie.
Right.
Millionaire Pie. And Millionaire Pie, you went to the ingredients for success. And you talked about the first 5 ingredients of prosperity. Oh my goodness, such good stuff. And
Yes.
then you have There I Stood. So many rich chapters. Chapter 1 is There I Stood, Rain, Rain, and Rain. Wow, I know that's something.
Mm-hmm.
There is no success without a succession plan. Wow, never underestimate the positive power of the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Good God Almighty, good God Almighty. Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions. Wow, building your skill. Mirror, mirror, tests are not supposed to be easy. Take it personal. Oh my goodness. I love these titles. I love these titles. Be the original, learning to see opportunities in every problem. That's a good one right there. That's true. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
no such thing as free lunch. Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
The power of the tongue, speak life or death and defeat. Begin with the end in mind, turning L's into lessons and level up. And you don't have to hear me though. Good God Almighty, Monty. Now let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all of these chapters, which
Mm-hmm.
one is the one that I know you can't really limit it, but out of all these chapters, which one is the one that you have gotten people that have just said to you, "Oh my goodness, Monty, when you said what you said in that chapter, that hit home right there. That's the one. That's the one." Which chapter was that?
I think the one that people are more gravitating towards is not underestimating the positive power of pain. That's the one I'm getting the most comments on
Mm,
because a lot of times, people go through struggles and go through challenges and actually go through pain, and they come out of it and they don't take time to reflect on the lessons that are learned because, in life, you're not supposed to say, well, I lost this or I did this wrong or I failed. You're supposed to say, listen, either I win or I learn. You have
right.
to learn how to reflect on those lessons and understand, okay, what did I do wrong on this? Or
Right.
how can I improve next time? Or
Right.
how can I fix this? But you can only do that when you, number one, take credit for whatever problem came up. You
Mm-hmm.
can't pass the buck. A lot of people try to delegate the responsibility to somebody else when they make a mistake. And that's the worst thing you can do. What you need to learn how to do is actually accept the fact that whatever happened was my fault. Because
Wow.
when you blame somebody else for something that bad happened in your life, what you're doing is you're actually empowering that person, and they're not going to actually be able to help you get over or learn from the lesson. The only person that can learn from the lesson is you. So accept responsibility, learn from the lesson, and then move on.
So what you're saying is push past the pain. That's what I'm hearing you say. Push.
Absolutely. Push past the pain. A lot of people call it when you're going through stuff, going through hell, and they don't really understand what that means. See, it's a blessing to go through hell
Mm-hmm.
because
Wow.
that saying going to hell, it says going through hell, which means that you come out on the other side. And when you come out on the other side of it, then that test actually has become the testimony, and you can reflect on what you learned going through hell. Because you didn't go to hell and stop, you went through it, and you come out the other side. And actually, what happens is when you do that, it's like a purification process, and you take the lesson from that, and you learn from whatever happened, whatever that negative experience was. You try to glean the positive out of it, because going through pain and challenging times and not getting anything out of it is just torture. You just
Wow.
torture yourself. If you keep doing that foolishness over and over again, and you're not learning something out of it, what are you doing it for?
Now I'm gonna tell you a chapter that I know. I know this. I really, I have the book and I've been going through the book. There's so many things. There's so many points that I want to bring out in here. But the one that really stood out to me, because a lot of people have an issue with their emotions, is playing with my money. It's like playing with my emotions. And let's talk about that for a minute, because a lot of people don't have what they call emotional intelligence.
Right.
So that right there is the one for me. Talk about that one, please.
Yeah, I was actually motivated. It was funny because one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Most people seen it. That movie called Fridays. You ever seen that movie, Fridays?
Yes.
One of those movies, man. It's the funniest scene. There's what's the guy named Chris Tucker, and he's like this amateur little drug dealer guy, and he's actually called himself selling drugs or whatever, selling weed, and then he ends up smoking up all the stuff that he's trying to sell for the Big Worm guy. And Big Worm comes up and is looking for his money. He's like, "Look," he says, "Smokey, you playing my money. It's like playing my emotions." And I was like, you know what? That's actually real, because what is forget about all the drugs and the comedy and stuff, but what happens is you can get more time, you can get more money, but you can't get more time. And when you put an effort into something, if you don't invest that effort and invest that time into something that's going to be fruitful and multiply, you actually not just wasting money, you're wasting a resource that you'll never be able to get back. So, what I want to express in that chapter is, people are always talking about losing money, but you never talk about losing time. You never talk about losing energy. You never talk about losing peace of mind, because all money is not good money. So yeah, some people think that all money is good. No, all money is not good money. Everything that people do sometimes for money is not worth the pain. It's not worth the trouble. It's not worth losing your peace of mind. It's certainly not worth losing your freedom and your health. So we got to take all those things seriously and put them in the proper perspective.
Okay. Now you went over 5 key ingredients for prosperity. Can you tell us what those 5 key ingredients are? And I know JHG Productions said nothing more valuable than the thing that don't cost money.
That's absolutely correct.
The thing that don't cost money, and yeah, that's a good one. And he also said big worm, big perm.
Big worm. Yeah, big worm. Yeah, that was funny.
Rochelle Bodie said that's good. So y'all keep the comments coming and I'll keep sharing them. But now the ingredients that you gave in here, and y'all got to get the book. You got to go to Amazon to get the book. Okay, go to Amazon to get the book. Hood Mentor. You see it right there. How Hustle, Faith, and 50 Cent built an empire. Okay, right. But can you give them a sneak peek of the 5 ingredients for prosperity?
So the 5 ingredients of prosperity are all centered around a commonly misused word called information. We don't look at information and really break it down as to what it really means. We just think that information is just something, it's just stuff. But if you break the word down, it's actually a combination of several words. So number 1 is inform. So when we're informed, we receive information and we understand how to process that information. So once we are informed and understand how to process the information, right? All those pieces, every single step of that is structural. And if we don't understand how the structure works, then we get confused and then you have chaos. So in business and life, in your personal, whatever it is, you have to always understand how to process information and how to not use every piece of information that we get. Sometimes you have to have a discerning spirit. Nowadays people have so many resources as far as how to get information, but all that information is not good. You have to learn how to weed through what you need, throw away the stuff, separate what's called the wheat from the chaff, and understand what you can use in your life to elevate and to move forward. There's nothing in nature that is a natural thing that's not geared towards growth. There's no seed that's not going to actually produce not just the seed, but more than the seed. So if we're here seeds, we're seeds and we're operating in the capacity of God's seed. What we need to do is understand how to be fruitful and multiply and what that really means. It doesn't mean just to reproduce ourselves. It means to actually understand how to look at a thing and say, how can I add value? How can I make my community better? How can I make my family better? How can I make my relationships, my business, everything we touch needs to be able to expand and grow. So when we are on that frequency, then we understand that that's our portion in life. It's not here just to accumulate stuff. It's here to leave a legacy that's going to stay here once before we leave.
Wow. So now let's go back. Let's go back. So information is the first one. What I wanted to say is, there's a thing in the book, and in the good book says our people are destroyed for
Right.
lack of knowledge. They're
Absolutely.
destroyed for lack of knowledge. So you have to know how to use that information.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's number one, information. Okay. What's
Right.
number two? What's number two?
Oh, I don't know. I had a book. I don't have a book right in front of me. But it's in the book. It's all in the book.
Okay, so you got to get the book to get it, y'all. You got to get the book to get
You got to
it.
get
You
the
got to know
book.
what you have. So we gave you number one. So now you
Right.
have to go ahead and do it and get the book to know what's what in there. So
Right.
information is the key. Start out with getting the information. And how important is it, Monty, to watch the company we keep? A lot of time, people. I heard you say that. It's something about that. How important is it for people to watch the company they keep in the process of growing? Because when you grow, everybody can't go.
Right.
When you
Right.
grow, everybody can't go. All right. And
Right.
JAG said it. He said it. That's a good one right there. You said you can't give it all the way.
Right.
Can't give it all the way. You know.
Right.
But got to give him a teaser, right, Jay? Got to give him a teaser, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
But how important is that? A lot of times people think that people change when they get up there and they start making these $1 million deals and they start going places. Like you did your first international project in Nigeria, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
when you came back and you started doing things, did people start to think that you treated them differently because you couldn't go places you used to go or do things because your mindset changed? Is that correct? Talk about that and how you change your mindset and how that process works.
So, when I did the project in Africa, we did an actual hospital project in a place called Oshobo, Nigeria. That was a partnership with the Chinese government. That was my first international trilateral agreement. We built a hospital, a birthing hospital in Oshobo, Nigeria. And we actually got an award from the United Nations for that project. But what I had to learn how to do is I learned how to delegate. I actually learned how to work on teams and understand it's not just about me. We can only do so much ourselves. And actually, I got that lesson, and it's also in the book. I actually got that lesson, and my business started growing when it said in Proverbs that I was supposed to study the way of the ant. If you look at that and see how deep that is, everything about an ant's life, and I know this is small to some people and they think you're crazy, but it wouldn't be in the Bible if it wasn't real. And it's wisdom. And the wisdom of it, it says having no guide or overseer, always has plenty of provisions. If you look at how ants operate, we always thinking about an ant mound and how fiercely they're protected. If you step on that mound, they coming for you. And they're not trying to bite you. They're trying to take you out. They may bite you because they're so small, but they're trying to get rid of the threat. So what we got to understand is, that's one portion of it, but they also always take care of that queen. And look, this is timely for Mother's Day. You got to take care of the queen. They're willing to go out for their queen, right? So we have to look at all the lessons. Also, they're builders. If you look at ants, they're actually builders. They are developers. They take land, they develop land. Think about how deep that is. An ant mound is not just an ant mound, that is a structure. They keep food in there. They develop just like we develop. They have structure, they have certain ants in the colony that have certain jobs. They have the construction people, they have the defense people, they have the people that only handle with the food, they have people that only handle with the babies, and they people that protect the queen. I mean, everything is in that ecosystem, and it's underground and you can't see it, but you got to study the way of the ant. So we have to actually be representatives. If God is telling you there's wisdom in that, why wouldn't you look at that? Because the Bible is not just a book.
And he got two queens, y'all. He got two queens. He got his mama and he got his wife. The two women have been there with him through everything that have helped him to be the man he is today, that he honors both his wife and his mother. Sometimes people have a problem with how close they are to the mom when they get married, but you don't have that problem. I don't see that with you.
No. My wife loves my mama, and my mama loves my wife. So, we're all into this thing together. And that's how we got to be.
All right, JHG said you and I are creative ants, Monty. He said you and I are creative ants. Okay, so now you have some new projects coming up too. I know you have some new projects coming up that you're working on here in the area. And talk to us about that. I think it's something that you have working out with a young man in the area, Mr. Zell Lucas. What's coming up next with Mr. Zell Lucas in Raleigh that people know? And sit back a little bit when you tell us.
Okay, yeah. So the project with Zell Lucas, we're right there on the BRT on New Bern Avenue. We got a project that we're doing called Lucas Legacy Place. We're gonna be doing some units there. I mean, I got projects everywhere. I got some stuff here to come up in Asheville, North Carolina, in response to the devastating flood that came up last year. We got projects in Durham. We're working on a place called Fed Place, which we're doing like 600 apartments, grocery store, mixed-use development. I've also got a partnership with Mr. Donahue Peoples, which is the largest Black real estate developer in the country. We're doing 505 West Chapel Hill, a development in Durham. So, I mean, we've got several projects everywhere. We got the ranch that we bought in Mebane, 40-acre horse ranch that we're doing equine therapy, STEM camps. We did our first wedding on Saturday of last week. It was very successful. We got another one coming up next month. So it's just a bunch of different projects everywhere in all different stages of development.
Wow, I'm so proud of you for that. That's amazing. So the multiple projects you have going on, are you looking for more people to do projects with? Are you already open? How can they reach out to you if they would like to be a part? Because we know that you're always getting new business partners. So are you open?
I'm open. Yeah. I'm open for opportunities and open for, partnerships, strategic partnerships. And I'm always looking to do new business and bless people through my knowledge and expertise. So, yeah, I mean, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on all those mediums, or they can just reach out to me. My phone number is public. So I'll be happy to talk to people and, figure out how to work.
And so what I have here right now is your website. And you talked about some of the things you do. You talked about the STEM, and you've been recognized in the news by a couple of those things. You've been recognized for the Unity Scholarships, the affordable housing, on the radio, the Triangle Business Tribune, of course, WIL, WABC, so many places. So we have seen you do that, and we know that there's more to come.
Absolutely.
Who is your actual mentor? Who's the person that influenced you? Whose book are you reading? Who's the one that's fueling you right now? Who's fueling you?
Man, honestly, most of my fuel comes from Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and the Book of Psalms. I mean, my mentors are thousands of years old. I mean, I read a lot of, stories about Solomon and David. I read a lot of stuff that, I go into the word and I go into it so deeply, and I make it real in my life. Because again, like I said, the Bible is a study guide.
Mm-hmm.
You buy something, like say you go to what's the place, a Kia or something like that. You go to IKEA, whatever it is, and they give you a big box, and in the box is a stack of papers. Well, you don't go in there and take the box and throw the papers away and say, well, let me figure this out myself. You do what? You go and you read the manual, right?
Right.
Because if you read the manual, it'll make your life easier. Or you can go at it alone and say, well, let me just figure it out. But guess what? You're gonna have a raggedy mess when it's over with, because you're not gonna be able to figure it out. It's the same way to me with the word. So I mean, the Bible is there for us and other words of wisdom, but I preferably like the Bible, King James Version, and it's worked out for me. So my mentors are actually in that word. I study that word. I break down the word. I break it down with a dictionary, so that because some words I don't know what they mean, so I have to look up those words, and then it makes the actual word itself come alive to me.
Well, you know, the good book says, study to show thyself approved unto the Lord. So you got to study to show thyself approved. You know, you got to trust in the Lord and lean not to thine own understanding and acknowledge him in all thy ways, then he will direct your path.
That's
so
it.
You're doing that. And I can tell that Matthew 6:33 is 1-2 for you, where you seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all things are being added unto you, brother. We see them being added. So we know that you're in that word, you know. But Monty, there's some people that don't know about the word. There's some people that don't utilize that formula. Any words of advice to those people? Have you ever tried it without that? I mean, can you talk about that? Did you ever try to do it on your own and that didn't work? Is that when you shifted?
Well, that's when I had the stroke. I mean, so I know, I can tell you by experience that don't work for me. I mean, I've tried it myself with my own way, leaning it towards my own understanding, and it didn't work out too well for me. So I ain't doing that no more. You know, that ain't gonna fly. So I gotta have guidance.
Wow. And do you find it easier now, like trying to just let him guide you? Is it so much easier?
To me, it's easier. I mean, it's more work. You have to put more into it. You have to be vigilant against negative forces that try to come into your mind. You know, you got to do it. You got to put the work in. There's no way to be successful without actually putting that work in. So you can work all day long, you know, and still not be successful, or you can work in the proper way with the proper guidance and the right mindset and bless people whenever you can. You know, don't hurt yourself, but at the same time, you got to be on guard with your mind. And one thing I do is now I'm very careful on what I allow myself to tell myself.
That's a good one. Say that again.
Yeah, you got to be very cautious on the thoughts that you allow and the things that you allow yourself to tell yourself. Because if you say that I can't do something, guess what? You're right. But if you say to yourself, I can do something, guess what? You're right. Whatever you tell yourself, that's what it is. And it ain't about what you say to other people about what you say. What's in your mind? What are you thinking? We have to understand how to go into the temple. And if we
So
think
cast your cares. A lot of time people hear that says cast your cares, and we thinking about other people. But you said something that's really powerful. So you need to guard yourself from yourself,
right,
from your own doubts, from your own thoughts that may come. You have to cast them away before they come and say, nope, I'm not going there. You know, so that's good. That's real good. Now, Monty, you also shared something when I went to that book signing you did at the ACE Center. And you shared about how important it is because you want everybody to meet everybody in the room, because you said one person could change your life. Can you talk about that? You talked about how you met someone and that one person changed your life. Can you tell that story? Just somebody may just not understand how valuable it is to network and to really open up a little more.
Absolutely. So the story that I was telling at the book signing was I was talking about, you know, when I first got into, after I had a stroke and I was getting out of the hair and trying to get into real estate. I had some challenges because, again, you know, I went to, 18 different banks trying to get the first loan to do my first shopping center, and I got turned down by everybody. And it was really, really frustrating. It was starting to get into my mind. I was starting to actually be very negative and a little mean to myself and beat up on myself a little bit because I felt like I know what God has showed me, but I felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. So I went to a symposium with some very prominent people at Dudley's. I don't know if people heard about Dudley's, but Dudley's used to have hair products and did a lot of training. You've heard of Dudley's before, Crystal?
Yeah.
So going to that symposium, I met John Ray, who was Mr. Dudley's right hand, and John Ray made one phone call to one guy named Arnold King, who's recently passed away. But Arnold King also made one phone call, and a couple of days later, I had somebody come in also that one phone call just by being in the right place at the right time with the right mindset. And they made my first dream come true, which is my Statue Side. That was phase one of Statue Side, which is my first shopping center. But that was only being persistent and being turned down 18 times.
18 times.
Yes.
One,
18
two, four,
And
five.
matter of fact, a couple of banks I forgot I had went to them already and got turned down twice by those same banks.
Wow. And did it take a lot for you to go back to that same bank, Monty? Because a lot of times we don't want to go back. We don't want to go back when somebody treats us a certain kind of way.
Right.
So 18 times, let's talk about that for a moment. A lot of times, some people don't get to number 18 because after they can't make it through the no's. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that the no's make you stronger for you for the yes. But if you don't go through the test, you'll never have the testimony. So
Absolutely.
I know you stay in the word, and the word has a lot to do with giving you the stamina to keep going and to take the no's. But what do you tell that person who may be watching this and come back and do the replay that has been rejected, that has not met the right person, that just simply getting close to the end of giving up? What do you say to that person?
Well, I mean, I say number one, never give up. But then number two, you have to do what I also did after about maybe the 10th no. What I started doing was saying, okay, you know what? They're telling me no, but why are they telling me no? So I would ask the person in good spirit, say, listen, I'm not, I just need to, you tell me what I need to do differently next time. And what I started learning how to do is incorporate those no's into the next proposal. So by the time I got to the 18th proposal, it was actually a good proposal because I had always taken the information gleaned from those no's and turned it into the yes by modifying the way that I did things and how I proposed things. So actually those no's made me stronger, but every one of those no's brought me closer to the yes. So what I would tell people now is every no that you get makes you closer to the next yes.
Wow. So that's powerful. I don't know if y'all caught that, what he said, but he said he took the no's and he asked the individuals what he could change so he can better himself. So he did something to better himself. Do you do a lot of reading outside of the book? I think I asked you to, but you said you mainly stay in the Bible, but I also think that with the internet and all the workshops available and good books, it is definitely good to develop yourself and to
Absolutely.
find good skills and to be around those people that can help you. You can't go anywhere if you stay in the same place. If you don't get around people that are going to push you, if you're the smartest person in your circle,
You got
it's
to
not
roll.
gonna work. It's not going to work. If that you agree
If
with
you're the
that?
smartest person in your circle, you got the wrong circle.
Wow, that's it right there. Now, John said he put it in there, and I'm posted. He said, "I'm ready to work with you." I'm sure there's a lot of people who are. What are you looking for when a person comes to you? If they watch this and they say, you know what, I'm going to call that James Montague. What are you going to look for in order to even give them the time of day to listen for a proposal? What do they need to come to the table with?
I look for people that actually understand that we're not going to get any more time on this earth. So I look for people that, number one, if I'm the kind of the big dog at the table, I need them to listen to me and understand and respect my time. But at the same time, I make phone calls all the time to people that are big time, bigger than me, and I'll be like, hey, this is who I am. This is the value that I can add. I would like for you to consider partnering with me or joint venturing or doing such and such. Always understand that you are literally one person away from changing a life. And I always look for people that I can work with that we can bless the mass amount of people. I'm not just looking for somebody to say, okay, tell me how to do this, tell me how to do that. I don't like that. I joint venture with people so that we can work together. And I don't want to do all the legwork myself. I'm already busy. So I don't need more work. What I need strategic partnerships and alliances of people that actually see the value of my expertise and what I've been doing for these years. Because I believe in planting seed in fertile soil. So I'm looking for fertile soil when people are looking to call me.
All right, so you heard it now. So you heard it, and I'm gonna put it up here so they have it. You said your phone number is public, and
Absolutely.
so you don't mind. So to reach out to you, it's okay for me to put that number.
Absolutely.
Call and that number is which number? 919.
Yeah. 796-2546.
All right, so y'all, I'm gonna put it up there 796-2546. But don't call him and waste his time if you're not ready. He's open, but you you have to at least have, do they have to have a proposal written out? I mean, is there anything minimal that they have to have when they reach out to you?
Well, I would like for them, now that I put all this information in the book, one of the prerequisites is, look, have you read my book? Because if
Okay.
you don't read my book, you're not going to understand how I think. And you're going to ask me questions that you would already have been answered yourself. Because I don't want to tell you I don't want to tell you stuff if it's already in my book, because that means that, you're being a little bit lazy. If you're not studying the person first and understanding what motivates the person, what makes them tick, then I ain't got time to kind of like tell you about my story and how I do stuff, because I'm laying out a whole bunch of information in the book. Everything from how to develop in opportunity zones, how to do structured finance. I mean, how to do like you know, different stuff. I'm putting it all in the book. I put a lot of information in there that can be used as a resource. So if somebody called me and I say, look, have you read the book? And they tell me no, then I'm like, oh well, you need to read the book, because you're not we starting in we starting behind. I don't want to start behind.
So
I'm
come
really
after you read the book. Come after you read
right,
the book. Okay.
right,
Be ready for that test when he asks you about the book.
right,
Okay. Yeah. And that's just being respectful. That's just like any job interview you go to. You
right,
need to study the company.
right,
Before you go in there, you need to have studied them. And therefore, when you tell them what you can bring to the table, you need to also be able to tell them how you're a good fit. And you
right,
can't do that if you don't study them. So he's
correct.
telling you the best way to do that and how to deal with him. Okay. So build your skill. Make sure you get what you need. Now, Monty, a lot of times, and I'm not going to keep you too long because I know it's Mother's Day and you probably want to get back with your wife, but a lot of time people won't start because they just don't have the money. And I know that sometimes there are creative ways, and you talk about that in your book, creative ways of doing things with no money down.
Right.
Any words of encouragement there without going into what the book says, but there's a mindset and there's a type of ambition a person needs to have. You don't have to count yourself out because you don't have the money. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that?
That is absolutely correct. I mean, a lot of people say, if I had the money, that I would start. That's not how this works. You don't. If you had all the money when you started, then in my case, I wouldn't have needed God. So I lean on God for inspiration and understanding, and to put me with the right person at the right time, with the right opportunity, right? And have my mind geared towards positivity and not speaking that negative. A lot of people come to me and say, well, I don't have the money. Or if I had the money, such as, what you're doing is you're speaking lack. And when you speak lack, guess what you're going to attract? It's impossible for you to speak lack and attract positive. So what you need to say is, I'm working towards that. Or, I feel at all times that the destiny is coming to me. So you got to actually start understanding how to speak life to yourself and how to attract positive versus attract negative, because you're going to attract something. And my thing is, if you're going to attract something, you might as well attract positive. So the key thing is, start where you are with what you have. Hell, I started with 50 cents. A lot of people would laugh and say 50 cents ain't nothing. But if you add that up and understanding how to add value to people and how to work and find your niche, because there's something that you have a destiny, and there's something on this planet that you can do better than anybody else. But you got to figure out what that is. You got to ask for guidance and understand how to add value where you're supposed to add value. So start where you are with what you have, and it might not seem like a lot, but it adds up. Oh, they're my grandboys. Oh, you're on mute, Crystal. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Talk to me about these guys and how you're teaching them. I can only imagine what you're teaching them, but family is important to you. I know family is important. So talk to me about these little guys right here.
Yeah, those my grandboys. Those how many is that? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 of my grandboys right there. I got 9 of them. That day I was teaching them how to ride motorcycles, so dirt bikes. So that was my favorite pastime in the projects, and that's what I do. I teach them how to ride dirt bikes and do different stuff. But yeah, those are my boys. I got one girl and 9 grand boys. So yeah, them my people. That's my why right there, because it says in the word, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Yes.
So that's where the inheritance is going right there.
That's it. And then that's his good thing right there. A man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's my good thing right there.
Ah, sucky, And
Right.
then, of course, as we said earlier, he got the double dose because he has mom on one side and he has his wife on the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, to the brothers out there that's wondering the secret is it's okay to listen to women sometimes. Is that correct, Monty?
Absolutely. There's wisdom in there. There's wisdom in that. If you can't listen to the women in your life, you got the wrong woman in your life.
Ooh.
Or you need to grow yourself and attract the right woman.
Wow. That's good. That's good. Well, I appreciate that. But listen, I appreciate the nuggets that you've been leaving with us today and the way that you have been sharing. Anything that I did not ask you that you want the people to know. I know we talked about your projects coming up. We talked about the different places. We did talk about Nigeria. Anything else international that we didn't talk about that you want to mention that may be important to you, or something that you just might want the people to know about that you did outside of Nigeria?
Let me see. I think, well, I wanted to talk more about the I guess my newest project. I don't know if we discussed the F7 Blackstone Ranch, which is the 40-acre ranch I bought in Mebane,
Okay.
to do equine assisted therapy, do STEM camps. Bought it to do family reunions, weddings like the one we did Saturday. We got another one next month. I wanted to let the community know that is a resource for family outings and things like that. We're gonna have, like, the little trail rides, and we're gonna have, horses, and we just got a whole ranch out. You can go fishing out there. But that's a resource that I want the community to know that's available, that they can use in Mebane, North Carolina. You just go to our Instagram, is F7 Blackstone Ranch on Instagram, or you can hit me up on Instagram on my James Montague Instagram. Monty's F7. That's what it is. MONTES F7. Or you can hit me on Facebook, and you'll see all of my projects, a lot of my projects. I'll talk about a lot of my projects on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So, and LinkedIn is just James Montague.
So I'm going to share that so they can see that. I'm going to definitely pull that up and put that up here. F7, the ranch. Go out there. You're going to have some horses out there.
Oh yeah, we already got 12 horse stables. We don't have any horses yet because we're remodeling it right now. But we hope to have a couple of horses in the next couple of months. And then we have, like I say, ponds out there. We have a indoor riding rink. We just converted into a reception area for, indoor events. Like the wedding reception was actually in the rink. We just had that remodel. We had a gazebo remodel. We called that the unification gazebo. So the company actually got married at the gazebo. As a matter of fact, that on the left side down there, that's what the gazebo was. Yeah, right there. So that was us actually remodeling the gazebo. And it was beautiful. When you go to Instagram, you'll see they actually got married in front of that gazebo.
Wow.
Unification gazebo. So we got it ready, got it done, and it's just been a blessing for the people. And so I want you to know, this is for the community. That's just not for me. And that's one of our lakes right there, one of our ponds. We got big cat, got big mouth bass in that pond right there.
Okay. You got your boots in the ground. Hey, you can get the boots to the ground, huh, Monty?
Hey, I got plenty of boots. You need them out there in the country. Yeah, I love that.
Wow.
Oh, and that's a beautiful lake right there. So, it's just a natural environment where you can go and just be at peace.
Wow, the lake is nice too. And I see you probably have some of the grandboys helping you do that too.
Absolutely.
And so it's definitely good. Is that one of the stables there? Is that
that's the indoor riding rink we just remodeled. It looks totally different than that right now. And those are the VIP areas. So we're gonna have gospel concerts and jazz concerts. We're gonna have VIP areas right there for the food truck rodeo. We're gonna have a car show out there soon. Talk to a detailer, men at work. He wants to have what's called a detailer's
ball out there.
Detailer's ball out there. Yeah.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah, so yeah, I gotta get with you. We gotta do something out there because I'm doing something out there with Les next month, but we could definitely do something out here too.
Okay.
These places out here, it's really nice. I'm going through the pictures to see what you have here, and so it's called the Blackstone F7 Blackstone Ranch.
Yep.
And so, are you taking appointments now for booking for May, June?
I am. We had actually our first wedding was last Saturday. I think our next wedding is June 21st. So I've got, time in between them. I'm not trying to pack it out, but we're just trying to make sure that the community knows it's a resource for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess
that was our first camp right there. If you see that was our first STEM camp. We had over 100 kids. We did a STEM camp. We had robotics out there. We had horse riding out there. I hired a guy to come in and bring his 2 horses, showing them how to ride. So that was a beautiful day out there.
It says you empowered the kids mentally, physically, and emotionally, and that was good. You had Representative Tanika Brown from Forsyth County, and she came out for the STEM robotics, fishing games, dancing, inspirational talks with entrepreneurs, meditative yoga, financial literacy, food, and fun. Excellent. Excellent. So they can call you at that same number if they're interested, the same number that we showed before. If you call him, you can call him regarding going out there and definitely reaching out to him at this number right here on the bottom of the screen, 919-796-2546, 919-796-2546. If you're interested in doing anything at the ranch, okay, reach out to him. Is it the only or the first Black ranch in the area?
No, I don't know. I don't have no clue. I'm new to this. This was a God-given vision, so it might be 100 of them. I don't know, but
and it doesn't really matter, really, right? Because it's enough for everybody.
Right, it's enough for everybody. It's not enough. It's not enough of us to have these type of ranches. I've heard that I'm the only one with a ranch that's got the stables and the indoor riding rink and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure there are other ones out there. Maybe I'm not sure.
Excellent. So y'all make sure that you definitely reach out to him so that you can get that, man. Because that's amazing. So the children, the adults, you have something for everybody, Monty.
Absolutely. My job is to serve.
Okay. So listen, what I'm going to allow you to do at this time is, so we talked about that. I want to make sure you were able to talk about that because I asked you, was there anything else that you want to talk about? So we want to get that in there. And we definitely would like to thank you for giving us this time today, for coming out here. And I know that you also are partnering with someone. There's a big event coming up this week downtown, right?
Yeah. Brother Elton Benjamin, I'm one of the presenters, and I'll actually be there signing books and talking about the Hood Minted and all the different, a lot of the different projects we're doing in Asheville and Durham and Raleigh and Mebane, just different places. So I'll be talking about all that stuff at the Creativeverse 25. Brother Elton Benjamin, he's the initiator of that, the founder of that, and that's a fantastic event. I participated last year. I was only there for a little while, but and I didn't have a book last year. So this year I have my book there. I'll be, having the book signing. I heard there's a lot of interest in it, so I think I'm gonna have a little segment and talk on and stuff. So yeah, I'm just excited about that. I think that's May 16th, 17th, maybe.
Yes, this Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
This Friday. They actually asked me to be in one of the podcast rooms, but I have something going on, so I couldn't do it because I was going to be in one of the podcast rooms on Friday night, but I had another engagement. But I told them, put me down for 2026. Put me down for 2026.
Right.
So, Monty, I truly thank you so much. And anything else that you wanted to mention to the people? We talked about the ranch. I just like to make sure people take the opportunity. And once again, tell them, get the book. How much are the books?
Get the book. The book is only $19.99. I made it affordable. It's $1 million worth of advice in that book, but I made the book affordable so that anybody can get that book. And again, you can get that on Amazon. The link is in my bio on my LinkedIn, or you can just go to Amazon and type in Hood Minted. That's a new word. I created that word, so it's new on Amazon. And also you can get it on, I think you can go on Barnes & Noble's website as well. So they can, we just approved them. We got approved by Barnes & Noble's to be in their stores. So you can order either on Amazon or Barnes & Noble's.
All right. And don't forget to contact Dion if you want to get your book launched. If you need to do something, contact his sister. She helped make this possible. Monty, we're going to give you a chance to give some closing comments. Any closing comments overall you would like to say, however you'd like to do it, we definitely will give you the floor to do that at this time.
Sure. Well, I just like to thank you, Crystal, for all that you do for the community. And I'd like to thank your people that are tuning in and listening to you. And just wanted to tell you to get the book. And to, if you feel free, just reach out or, figure out how we can work together. So I'm just honored to be able to serve the community and always be a resource for people. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you so much for that, Monty. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. You've been watching Story Time. At this time, we're going to say, go finish the rest of the night out with your mom, the special women in your life. To all those, once again, happy Mother's Day. We appreciate you. Those dads who step in sometime as moms in the app, we appreciate you too. We'll see you on the next Story Time. We'll be here next week. We're here every Wednesday and every Sunday at 8 p.m. And we appreciate you. You've been listening to James Montague. You'll be able to go back and see the replay. It'll be in many places for you to see it. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, many, many places. All right. He's in Raleigh, North Carolina. He's giving back and putting it back in the city that he's from. He did not forget where he came from. So that's the beautiful thing, guys. So once again, Hook Minted, go get the book, How Hustle, Faith, and 50 Cent Built an Empire Fueled by Faith. And we'll see you on the next Story Time. My name is Crystal Bodie Smith. I'm your Hope Catalyst. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. That's what it's all about. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. All right. See you on the next Story Time. Thanks again, Monty. We appreciate y'all. And we definitely want y'all to know that we're here. If you have a story to tell, don't forget to reach out and we will make sure that we get it told. All right. See you on the next.
A catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.